Welcome to Beginner to Fluent. Giving an English presentation is something many students struggle with, including me. Whenever I hear that I have to speak in front of the class, I start to feel nervous inside. It does not matter how many times I have done it before, every new presentation feels like a new challenge. Standing in front of many people, trying to speak clearly in another language, and hoping that I do not make any mistakes is not easy. In this video, I want to talk about what I experienced before and during an English presentation, why it makes me so nervous, and how I slowly try to overcome this fear with practice, patience, and confidence building. Whenever the teacher announces that we will have to give a presentation in English, my heart starts beating faster. I immediately begin to worry about many different things. I think about whether I will pronounce the words correctly, whether I will forget my lines, or whether my classmates will judge me if I pause too long. Sometimes, these thoughts make me more anxious before the presentation even starts. It feels like my mind becomes filled with what-ifs, and these what-ifs make me doubt myself. On the day of the presentation, the fear becomes even stronger. While waiting for my turn, I feel extremely restless. My hands become cold and shaky, and I have difficulty focusing on what others are presenting because I keep thinking about my own turn. My stomach feels tight, and sometimes it becomes hard to breathe normally. I try to calm myself down, but it doesn't always work. I keep repeating inside my mind, "Don't make a mistake, don't forget, just stay calm," but the nervousness does not go away. When I finally stand in front of the class, everything feels different from how I practiced at home. At home, I speak loudly and confidently. I know my lines, and I feel prepared. However, in front of real people, my voice suddenly becomes very soft, almost like it wants to hide. My hands shake so much that I sometimes have difficulty holding the paper. I try to read the words clearly, but the fear makes my voice tremble. Sometimes, I even forget the next sentence because my brain becomes blank from nervousness. What makes it even harder is that I know English is not my first language. I worry that I might pronounce something wrong or use grammar incorrectly. I fear that my classmates will laugh or that the teacher will think I did not practice enough. But the truth is, I practice a lot, sometimes for hours. I stand in front of the mirror and pretend the mirror is my audience. I record my voice and listen to it again. I even ask my friends or family to listen to me. Even after all this practice, standing in front of the class feels like facing a mountain. But at the same time, I also know that speaking English in front of others is very important. It helps improve communication skills, builds confidence, and prepares me for the future. I remind myself that every good speaker was once a nervous beginner. Nobody becomes confident overnight. Confidence grows slowly every time we try. Sometimes, I use different strategies to reduce my fear. One thing I try is imagining that the audience is friendly and supportive. I imagine that I am talking to my best friends who will not judge me. This helps a little because it makes the situation feel less stressful. I also try to take deep breaths before starting. Breathing slowly helps calm my heartbeat and makes me feel more stable. Another thing that helps is reminding myself that making mistakes is normal. Everyone makes mistakes, even fluent speakers. The important thing is to keep going and not stop in the middle. When I remind myself of this, I feel a bit lighter. Instead of focusing on being perfect, I focus on doing my best. I also notice that every time I finish a presentation, I feel proud of myself even if I was nervous. After the presentation is over, I always realized that it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. The fear is mostly before and during the presentation, but afterwards I feel stronger. I tell myself, see? You did it! It wasn't impossible. This gives me hope that one day I will be fully confident. I know that improvement takes time. I cannot expect myself to become a perfect speaker immediately. What matters is that I keep trying, keep practicing, and keep believing that I can improve. Each presentation is like a small step forward. Even if the step is small, it still moves me closer to confidence. Sometimes, I watch videos of people giving speeches or presentations in English. I observe how they stand, how they speak, how they manage their expressions, and how they deal with mistakes. Watching experienced speakers inspires me. It helps me learn tips and tricks that I can use in my own presentations. I also try to build my English vocabulary and pronunciation daily. The more comfortable I become with the language, the less I worry about saying things incorrectly. Reading books, watching English videos, and practicing speaking with friends helps me slowly become more confident. Even though I struggle with fear, I do not want to give up. I want to become someone who can speak clearly and confidently in front of others. I want to share my ideas without shaking, express my thoughts without hesitation, and communicate in English without fear. I believe that with enough effort, practice, and time, I will eventually reach that point. In the end, my fear of English presentations is something real, but it is also something I am working to overcome. I know that many people feel the same way, and that makes me feel less alone. Even though my hands shake, my voice trembles, and my mind becomes blank sometimes, I still keep trying. Every presentation teaches me something new about myself. And with every new attempt, I become a little braver, a little stronger, and a little more confident. I hope that one day, giving an English presentation will no longer scare me, but instead become something I can do proudly and comfortably. Until then, I will continue practicing, improving, and believing in myself one presentation at a time. Thanks for watching.